David, that'll
264 of the Legion of Reason, coming to you from, Calgary and Lethbridge, actually. The Democratic Socialists of America had their national run a lemonade stand, let alone, America. Following her Vancouver Pride, kind of against antagonism. Okay, alleges she promotes hateful views. There's a piece by Melissa. It's boarded. On Islam. There's good news, sort of a good news story. I don't know if I'm suspicious, but anyway, the Mail Guardian for a day because it will beauty and resistance. I'll come out. Can't remember what the organization's based and dying. And meanwhile in New Jersey, here we go. A bishop there, James Chechio, said, tries to halt progress. Neocon spin-off, except in extreme cases, and they want to make it a criminal offense and put women who seek an abortion after 24 weeks away for because of the vagina steaming. They've joined me to get those.
You hear a bunch of rumbling. They want to.
Yeah, I'll put it up in a little bit. And not yet, but because we haven't started. Anybody wants? Okay. Remember we talked about this lovely person who is even uglier on the inside, I think. Who won't do a Brazilian on her male genitalia. Whatever.
There's a technique for men.
They're a man.
No, there's some you do.
Who the hell does it?
I forget what it's called. Manzillion or something like that. No, it's because that was part of the thing I was reading through.
Oh, really?
When
Okay.
So that person, she could have gone to that sort of specialization place.
You want something done, you want to go to someone who knows how to do it. And how infamous this person is getting, it's kind of unfortunate, actually, for being a bit of the antics of this person. I would hope to never get any kind of attention for what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, she's just abusing the system.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was never meant for this kind of thing. To say, okay, knowing full well that these people are not going to want to do a Brazilian on male genitals, and she's the Human Rights Commission.
This person would actually disappear.
She's going around to these salons knowing full well what the response is going to be.
Well, and what she's doing to these people online.
And
like in this case too, get back into this. Well, what is this 15-year-old accusing her of? Like, that's my point. Is now this is getting into more.
So has confirmed she has filed the child. It's official now. There's an official. Her life is going to be.
It's getting out of hand.
Way beyond the pale. That Jessica says bear spray. There was also bear spray in Canada. She claims that she told police.
If it's illegal, the
Facebook Messenger a disturbing image. Those aren't my images. I did, but no charges have been laid. Taser being one of them. Mace is another one.
The mace. The bear spray you're allowed to own as long. That's not why she had it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I assume that's the one. That's against other stuff that.
So I'm hoping eventually this is not.
With the allegations.
What they were debating about that, she had to pull.
Between her and Blair White on.
This is dreadful behavior.
Yeah, the whole thing stinks, and it gives no example. Yeah.
Yeah. Working in that area, but not the whole city.
But she keeps on, and she says, I'm transgender. Opened up a salon in 2018. The knowledge that I feel like getting a Brazilian done.
Not at the moment.
Yeah, this is all kinds of wrong. That's all I got to say. HRC complaints, because I don't...
And should have been told at some point. I wouldn't really trust a bar to handle women's hair, and then you go in and let them do it anyways. What are you going to do? Let's do that.
So why would you keep phoning?
Are you back, Chris?
I'll give her a shout. Oh, you guys can't read. Can you read that on the Skype?
It's very small because I'm on my cell phone.
Oh, right, but it's right side up and not backwards. It's not backwards. I don't know.
No, no. I bigger.
But it's not backwards. No. Pretty. Oh, it's a rascal. Oh my gosh.
I want one. That looks like fun, especially for Vancouver.
If I ever got one of these, I would pimp it out, like just hydraulics, and then go up and down the street, and bouncing on the hydraulics.
Sure.
Seriously,
yeah.
A tribunal member actually scolded Yaniv, saying her behavior in pursuing. Here we go. This is great. The issue resolved on its merit. Money.
How do you get the time? What do you do?
Yep.
Because you need that for what?
I don't want to even.
Doesn't look like she's gonna be running on the.
Thanks for the visual.
Yeah. You're welcome.
In a bikini.
Why even?
Of withdrawing complaints against someone and go through the tribunal's settlement process. See? So the moment they stood up and said, okay, I'm going to withdraw that. And that's it. Taking care for transgender women. No. I doubt it. At the same time, it is a very intimate service that is sometimes performed by women who are themselves vulnerable. Oh, this is another person on the tribunal. JY's complaints raise a novel issue.
People with common sense. Just try it at home first. See how it goes.
Yeah. Eyebrow waxing. Apparently, they won't eyebrow wax. Something tells me I call bullshit on that. I think it was probably as a package deal. She wanted both, and they, yeah, this is not going to end well for her, and good.
Well, she's brought her attention on herself, so maybe she'll learn a lesson.
What's happened with Christine? She's kind of disappeared.
She said she would try to get back.
All right, well, I'm calling her anyway. All right.
Okay.
Enough of that. I don't want to ever deal with her again.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, hopefully you won't hear too much more.
We've stumbled upon something in the same vein here. I got to play the video.
And to win socialism. Thank you.
Just want to say, can we please keep the chatter to a minimum? I'm one of the people who's very, very prone to sensory overload. There's a lot of whispering and chatter going on. It's making it very difficult for me to focus. Please, can we I know we're all fresh and ready to go, but can we please just keep the chatter to a minimum? It's affecting my ability to focus. Thank you.
Thank you, comrade. Okay, is there a speaker against name, chapter, pronoun?
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Please do not use gender.
Democratic Socialist Convention?
Democratic Socialists of America. Oh my gosh, and that is not even the tip of the iceberg.
Okay, as someone who gets in, this person could wear ear protection that wouldn't really be that debilitating. I would prefer that over being allergic to perfume big time, because I could wear earplugs and my skin wouldn't be affected, and my eyes and my sinuses and my...
They could go to the quiet room.
Come on.
They could go to the quiet room. Because there is a quiet room for those people, believe it or not. Like, why?
Well, there you go. There are accommodations. Plus, the PPE for that is actually not very... You can still eat and drink wearing earplugs or something. I'm sorry you have
well, that sounds culinary ableism to me.
There are ways to deal with that are so much easier than...
Well, there's no applause. You have to do jazz hands.
Okay.
And it took them the whole morning to stay. There were going to be a bunch of Trump supporters protesting, and so abortion clinic-esque, Trump supporter lines, I guess. And don't.
Why are there Trump
police
supporters
will be
there?
Well, because they're just gawking, I think. I mean, these
they have nothing in common with these people, and they aren't going to vote for anyone as a Democratic Socialist, and they're never going to vote for Trump. So why even bother each other?
Well, I think they would. Point? I would just go to sit.
Nobody cares.
You can't.
There's no point
I love
to
this
it.
part
You don't like each other. Big deal.
They were talking about don't talk to the police, and I'm like, what? Okay, interesting. And if you see anybody talking to the police, tell one of the yeah.
Oh, bring Chris back.
All right.
Yeah.
These people were just. I wouldn't, like I said in the preamble, I wouldn't trust these people to be able to run a lemonade stand. Like.
Well, that and socialism, like, come on, people.
Oh yeah, these people are
get your definition straight. You completely different things. You're so specific with your language on gender, but you're gonna be loosey-goosey about.
Melissa gives their name and their pronoun belongs to.
Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not a political organization. They're not a party. So why even if there is no Democratic Socialist Party, and any Democratic Socialist Party would hopefully
this is where the Democrats are going. And
no, there's
absolutely.
too much diversity in there. They have to split. You can't expect it to go one way or the other.
Well, Congress is purging.
I don't understand this.
One of the group of 24 who are trying to become presidential get presidential
nominees. Yeah, there's so many. And again. Okay, guys, if you want a Democratic Socialist Party, frickin' make one. This is getting ridiculous.
Yeah, this is what they want to convert the Democratic Party to. And they're getting...
No, don't convert. Get your own damn party.
They're already making headway. They're the Gang of Four.
Well, then they're going to lose...
Yes.
No, the Gang of Four actually
that's the whole point.
Really...
Trump in next year. Trump, for sure. Guarantee it. It will be
if they keep on like this.
It will be a landslide.
Especially since I read in that article on the Democratic Socialists.
No, we need more of it.
Yeah, we need more Trump.
Logic. That's the logic. Salad Khan, after the last election, people were saying why they voted for Trump, and it was because of the PC culture, and they didn't want it.
Well, if Bernie got his own damn party, they could frickin' vote for him. He is a Democrat.
Of course
what
not.
The hell?
They need the vehicle.
Grip.
Only in America, hundreds of millions of people, and turned out countries like Venezuela. Yes, that.
No, socialism is more what can.
The same thing. A social democrat is not a democratic socialist.
It's not a democratic. No. Oh, for fuck's sakes! We need some social democrat. Get your own fucking.
Things.
Well, she's not a cat.
Card carrying.
They should make her a leader of the party.
And they're screwing it up. But the Democratic Party.
Destroyed. I don't even know. I don't even pay attention to the DNC unless somebody's blaming them for Bernie.
Yeah.
Well, they got shit
I think if Bernie was smart and he really wanted to have another go at it, he would actually.
But the thing is, they're going to split the goddamn vote again. So they're doing themselves no favors either way. So America, if you want to go in the gutter, thanks for, dragging us in there with you, with your damn tariffs. Come on, look at who you got elected over all this baloney. So disgusting. Oh,
yeah,
politics is a mess. People, get your shit together.
Well, that's the thing. I say is just ridiculous because they're playing.
Come on, didn't that what the Nazis? Isn't that what the Nazis did? Wasn't it Comrade fucking Hitler or what?
That's communism.
Ugh.
Somehow they attach democracy, the workers' paradise, to these people. we were talking about the
politics.
DSA.
If you're social Democrats.
Just
Okay, are they Democratic Socialists or Social Democrats?
They're Democratic Socialists.
Because these Democratic Socialists, apparently, instead of Social Democrats, call themselves comrades and talk about socialism.
And we're talking
privatization on the side for
one step away from being communist. Shits who
and
right down to
wow. I'm to freedom of speech. I mean, if you don't want to be called that, you can tell everybody around you, well, call me this instead.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Yeah.
Sure, you
like
can.
Excerpts of it.
Yeah.
Can you try phoning me back? Can you try phoning me in again?
Sure.
I'm going to hang up here. Okay, sorry.
And pull her back in, yeah.
Okay, I'll try that. You hang up now. Okay. Let's see what... Oh. What? Well, we'll see how that... I just... I can't...
I wouldn't know.
Rooms, even though you're at a...
It's canceling...
They're singing and...
I could wear noise...
On your guys' end, it's on display. Oh, the Green New Deal. What could go wrong?
Things, but you've got to think how many lawyers...
Happy with those who try to circumvent the system. You know? And
ICE has been targeting a lot more than just... Yeah, they've become absolutely out of control. It's because they're questioning the birth certificate. You have no rights, even though you do...
ICE...
they're using more than just ICE facilities. Really different now than when it was FAR.
No, they're not.
You have the only time Obama took kids away.
The people who say there are
uncles and aunts and everything else.
I'm gonna find it. Tests of immigrant adults who were suspected. Children, you travel with a child. TSA will.
These guys are doing way sure. Have to be when we actually gather as babies without representation while they're
not with their legal guardians. If they aren't with their legal guardians, what do you do?
This isn't about whether they're the people doing it to everyone. Are we talking cage? The mothers get sent up, oh, well, this is your name, you're not born here, goodbye. Like, they're getting basically convicted without their parents even knowing where they are. To the border with their children. Complete bullshit. Not everybody who's taking everyone.
When they're
just taking children away from people that expect to get your children torn away under the guise of, oh, we got to make sure you are the parents, and then get separated for like 60 days. That's bull. Under Obama, they took.
Whoops, wrong one.
I'm sorry, I missed the context of that, basically. But I mean,
child separation. But who's getting their children taken away at what border right now?
We're moving on. Okay.
That is happening now. Okay. This didn't happen under the Obama administration. This hasn't happened under any of the Democrats or any other Republican government. This is unprecedented.
Okay, it was a scene that seemed anachronistic and perplexing to Western observers. Yeah, this is interesting because colonialism is something which is decried by in Hong Kong waving so colonialism
it's completely different
and to government at the end. How do you explain this if once Melissa, rather stifling into a little bit of nature of Chinese in minutes. It's almost in Hong Kong. Were about citizens. I don't know who they were pushing Hong Kong to. That they're hearkening back to that colonial government invent with current regressive left. Admittedly, not a bad thing.
We have no understanding. We also need to respect that. Go there and say that, right?
For those who embrace the ideological, being the Asian inhabitants of a form, this ideological conception and be inflicted upon those seen as having marginalized identities, people of color, colonized or indigenous people, women, LGBT, and it is through the language and activism of intersectional scholars. don't think there is such a thing. But anyway, intersectional scholars and activists that most people encounter these ideas. It's much more complicated. Boy, you've really got to go. That doesn't mean that there weren't some pretty heinous acts by the colonizers. The wars between the British and in fact, the idea of in the West actually figured it out. It was not something that was at all valued anywhere else, and it took a long time. It's still taking a long time. But anyway, the protesters were understood. Include rebukes for lacking sensitivity. The British flag was a symbol of pro-democracy. Activists in Hong Kong were in effect pro-colonialist groups funded and backed.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Sure, this isn't the pseudonym of Dan Aero. Yeah. Wow, what an absolutely. There's no nuance, right? There's no when he and the positive things.
Your hate mail to Randy.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I don't believe that I think there's very few things that a lot of shades of gray, and it all depends. Spanish was really bad, but they're fighting tooth and nail to maintain what little, pro-colonialist groups is if you accept one part of of colonialism, you must accept all of it. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
The British did some pretty bad things, but that's history too, right?
Well, colonialism. Well, yeah. What you were saying.
Yeah, it's what's his was he? Pinker. Thank you. There we go. Steven Pinker. When he said, when he talked about left polism, that when some people are just so far left that everything else is right. That's what this Norton character is reminding me of. Everything is to the right of this person. There's no farther left you can go.
I guess I'd put a little more impolitely that North Americans sometimes have their heads shoved up their ass and, just don't recognize that there's a world outside of our borders.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Canadians are, oddly enough, I remember learning all about the United States in elementary school.
No, that's what I'm saying. Well, I shouldn't include Mexico in there. I guess Canadians and Americans are kind of have their heads shoved up.
Well, they can't find. They can't. Some of them can't. Some people can't find a state on their own map. It's pretty.
Yeah.
Geography is not something that's really taught anymore.
Really? Huh.
Not really.
It's never my strong subject, but yeah, I suppose
I was never interested, But now that I've traveled a bit, seen.
Yeah.
Seen some things, but I don't think my knowledge of geography was terrible.
I don't know. Expose yourself to a broad amount of information, and not just get outside your bubble and look around.
Yeah.
If we want to defeat capitalism, we are going to need a party that will organize working people to fight for the demands that we want.
God.
Whoops. Man, she sounds so.
God, I don't want to do.
God, the whatever was going on there, the bit that I saw, she was even getting frustrated with all the nonsense. I couldn't even understand what they were trying to pass some resolution.
It took them all morning.
We need a resolution to.
It took them all morning to
with
pass
all the
one
points of privilege
resolution.
and stuff there.
Yeah, it was all interrupted by this garbage. Like, don't use gendered pronouns. Jeez.
Guys is not I guess I get it.
Guys is not even treated as a as a gendered pronoun anymore. It's.
Well, not here, because I think, if you call women guys, dudes, bros, buds, right? It's just not a, and
who cares if
like calling a man a whiny little bitch is fine, right? Being a whiny little bitch.
Oh yeah, you would get castigated. You would be drawn and quartered at that meeting. I mean, it would be, yeah.
Yeah.
You used the B word. No, that's gendered. Like a certain ex co-host who said that douchebag is okay because it's not gendered. And I'm like, oh, really?
That's right, too. Yeah.
I bet you you use a douchebag every day, dude. Like, seriously?
Bro.
Seriously?
Bitch.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Well, I suppose, nowadays, men need pap tests
douches.
too. Like, oh, come on. When does the crazy stop? When can I get off the crazy train?
When men have cervixes? How do you have a pap test without a cervix? I'm sorry.
Well,
she claims to be intersex as well. But
I don't even know what that means.
Well, when you're born with sort of both. Right?
If you have both, okay, fine, but you generally identify as one or the other.
But then you're not just a man, you're intersex.
Yeah,
but you want to put yourself as a man.
And generally they're not visible intersex. You know what I mean? Like, it's internal.
And are they truly a man then? Why would you call yourself ungendered if you're not?
I'm just wondering if it's possible to menstruate if you're intersex, because if I'm not mistaken, sometimes people that are intersex have difficulty with, reproducing. I'm not positive about that. I don't know really anything about this, but
yeah, I think they're
so
right about that.
I don't know that they would menstruate, but I suppose there's nuance there. Still, that person's obsession with that shit was.
I don't want to talk about that anymore.
Yeah, sorry. Damn it, I didn't get to do a rant. I need to do a rant.
I'm sorry,
okay,
but you couldn't be here for technical difficulties, and
yeah.
You can talk about it all you want. I'm just not going to say anything. I don't want to.
No, I'm okay. Let's move on.
People are idiots. I mean, there's just nothing else to say about them. Like the word snowflake. Here I am talking about them again. The word snowflake's just perfect for these people. Just absolutely perfect for these people, because you know what? It's
that person.
But they call us snowflakes because.
Yeah. Socialists and social democrats. So it's like.
I know. I'm so confused now. Like, apparently, one are comrades and the other are like.
Not democratic socialists. More. I would think progressive would be something different than democratic socialism too. But I don't understand. I don't understand the distinction.
Social Democrat apparently is like Canada. Democratic Socialism is comrades.
Yeah.
I think they just.
You're a comrade when you go there. When it's,
socialism and communism, right? Well, I think
Yeah.
Not social. Socialism is kind of.
Well,
in the convention.
Hitchens used to always call people comrades too, right?
What was the other term?
Is often socialism and communism are often indistinguished.
Confused.
Yeah, and they are spectrum. I think socialism is a spectrum from like our Canadian model right up to almost up.
We're social democrats here. Well, people are trying to pull us away from that and back into conservative waters, but.
I'm talking
but we never had to use the word social democrat or democratic socialism and the difference between socialism and communism. But, like I said, obviously I think, something like jail should never be a profit-making entity. That should be in the hands of government.
Because socialism is a range of movements associated with them. Democratic social. That's kind of Soviet Union.
And then I wonder.
I don't know.
With some ex-Muslims, yeah. So,
something that's communist in nature.
Not me.
Because people.
Not at all.
No, people usually say somebody is a pretty much with communism.
Social democrats, because
this whole as you having some safety.
Yeah, making sure no one.
These are ways of pulling down and
exactly. Now, if you
it might be a little sounds like something I should not label Roundup, right? When you're a kid, you also are required. Well, that of course.
Ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. After that are told.
Well,
end up costing you as a tourist. They're going to they'd charge forever. Well, Audi.
Because of the grade of the highway was so steep. I don't know. It's it just kind of blew up.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Altitude is quite high here, and if I fly in Coca Hollow one time, I'm like, oh my god, my ears.
Storm.
God. Or else I'm going to be blind,
The American system.
Yeah, we've talked about this. The Academy taps into the grievances drummed up by such tactics, leading to nonsensical campaigns to decolonize science. There was a professor, Bruce Gilley at Portland State University. He published an article, and he received a lot of fallout for it. It was called The Case for Colonialism, and you must pay the price. The fallout from that controversy included hurled at both the author and the editor.
Well, here too, Lawson witnessed this handover from Britain to China. Marginalized voices when it comes to things like this too.
Yeah. I just listened to.
Well, it reminds me of.
To me, it's the argument. I don't care where it comes from. Is it evidence based? Is it?
Yeah, not having.
Of course.
Growing up.
The legals of the press and freedoms of speech, which don't really exist in Singapore. That. But
I'm sure Bruce Gilley had. Bruce Gilley is a professor, respected, obscure, but that's what I'm saying. And instead of just creating an outrage mob, why don't you read the fucking article and learn something? How's that sound?
Punishment. Doesn't matter. I mean, it's like God. You steal a loaf of bread, what you stole, you're going to hell for eternity, right? There's no.
And you could have your hand cut off too.
Yeah.
Even though you're starving.
Oh, now you're.
Because humans have to build on God's law, and no, not just Islam. A lot of white countries did the very same thing in the Middle Ages. I mean, there was God's law, and man had to make sure that they built on that by really hurting you when you were bad. You didn't have a trial; you got your hand cut off.
Yeah. And if you're a witch, the case of being a witch, what was the punishment? They'd throw you in the lake, and if you drown, you weren't a witch. But if you didn't drown, you were a witch. Yeah. So you
were damned if you didn't. You'd be better off being a witch. I mean. Yeah.
Well, then you might get hanged too.
Yeah, but people that were called witches were women who were often practicing, early forms of medicine, right? Helping women with pregnancy and midwives and. These were what people considered witches.
Making their potions that might help each other.
I heard an interesting... an interesting...
I don't even think potions, they were just shunned.
Yeah.
Because they had power.
If you were to make a poultice, you were...
It was an interesting hypothesis about Salem, and that people suffered from ergot poisoning.
It gave you hallucinations, paranoia.
Okay.
It made you sick, but it also made you kind of schizophrenic. Paranoid schizophrenic, I must say. So, but then you were killing people for doing stuff they didn't do.
Yeah.
They used to make red dye from ergot.
Okay.
In some places, actually used it for tattooing.
Ooh, that'd be awful.
Yeah, so you get high on their tattoos.
And how long would that last?
I don't know.
You can do that?
It could be permanent, as in you're dead. But
Yeah, I'd imagine. Yeah.
Let's move on. Vancouver Public Library barred from Pride for hosting hateful speaker. The public library is there for everybody to use, and they didn't organize. It was Meghan Murphy. Where is it?
Yeah, she's kind of weird. Self-described radical feminist. Not someone I would call feminist for sure, but definitely radical feminist, and not someone I would want to listen to. But, you know, her writing on sex and gender, particularly questioning whether people can change their biological sex, and arguments that men aren't women, has been condemned by transgender and LGBTQ advocates.
I think she confuses
I can see why.
Identity and sex. Those are two different things.
Yeah. You're biologically what you are, even though there's gay animals. How do you explain that?
But you'd be surprised how many progressives deny that there's such a thing as biological sex, which is just insanity. Of course there is.
Yeah, so she's nuts. Who cares?
They deny all kinds of science. Why not that too?
They do, yeah. Well,
I don't understand who would listen to this person, though. Who would listen to her?
They teach it
I think she would offend fundies,
universities now. I mean, not in biology class, obviously, but in the grievance studies. Like, did you see that thing with Jordan Peterson versus Brian Mattei on TVO, where they were discussing gender pronouns and the government and federal government passing the legislation that you must use the person's preferred pronouns. Anyway, Brian Mattei was straight out said there's no such thing as biological sex, and not using the correct pronouns is violence.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that was a couple of years now, right?
Yeah, it was a couple of years back. Yeah.
Yeah, when he first basically came to prominence, Peterson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that. And well, that guy was a historian, nothing to do with
and trust me on this. I'm a medical historian. Deficient in biology, though.
Wow. You can't be medical and non-biological. But okay, whatever.
I can certainly see how medicine changes over time.
But, but I don't think we're gonna.
You actually have to
based on biological and chemistry. Biology and chemistry.
It's one thing to speak from a historical perspective, but when you're actually purporting to be a biologist, or I wouldn't say that he did, but it was framed that way in a sense, right?
I think I know more than
a biologist, apparently.
I think an interesting question now is whether or not gender dysphoria is something that should be included in the DSM.
Well, now that's something interesting, isn't it? Because at first you think, oh, of course it's not a mental illness, that's ridiculous. But then people are saying that if they have it taken out of that, then people are going to have less access to things, like surgery and stuff like that, medications and those things that help people transition. So I don't know what to say about that. I don't think it's a mental illness. I think that's ridiculous.
To be hashed out. And not only, what bothers me is when parents try to get their children who claim to be identified other than their biological sex to use hormone blockers.
Yeah.
That's a really, you don't screw with your endocrine system, right? It's a bad idea. Bad things happen.
No, I think that's a case-by-case thing.
It is case-by-case thing.
I think it's a case-by-case thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, because if you're, 13, 14 years old and you're having, severe gender dysmorphia, and it's
dysphoria.
Thank you. Dysphoria, and you're, feeling suicidal and stuff like that. Like, of course, as a parent, you're going to want to help that child, right?
If their life is in peril because they just cannot handle it anymore.
Well, and that person's if it's a female, is hitting puberty too, not like a 7-year-old.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 7. Well, could they even do blockers at that age? Probably not. I wouldn't think until you're actually close to puberty that would be an issue.
It wouldn't really do much.
What would that do to your growth? Like, if you use hormone blockers on a 7-year-old, are they even, how tall are they going to get? I don't know
how that would.
I don't think they would.
Hormone. Yeah, it depends.
I really don't, but I don't know.
Growth hormone, human growth hormone.
That's a puberty blocker.
Yeah, we're talking about puberty blockers, so it would be pretty.
So if you're not of the age of puberty,
testosterone,
then that's a false argument. Then people are just, right? Oh, they're giving this to 3-year-olds. No, they're not.
I get it. But how can a 3-year-old navigate the complexities of these issues and come to the conclusion that they're identifying as the
male or female?
Opposite of what their sex is. I
the same way they can go off and identify as Superman for I remember when Sarah went to elementary school, there was this kid, and for 2 weeks straight, it wasn't this was somebody's little brother, so he wasn't actually in school yet, but for 2 weeks straight, that poor woman was just like, oh my God, he will not give up.
Teenager can really explain it. Like, maybe at 4 or 5 you would rather be a boy or a girl, but give them until puberty and to figure it out and be the mind and maturity to make that decision. But also, if they want to identify as the other person for a while, as other, it doesn't hurt as long as you're not suggesting you physically change them at the time.
Yeah.
Let kids be kids. And if they exhibit particular things, just support them and whatever characteristics they exhibit. Whether it's ambition to, pursue a hobby, or if they want to wear dresses and they're a boy, or wear, what girls wear.
Pretty
pants.
It's fun. It's all good.
More boyish clothing out there too to choose from. So rather than a dress.
Typically, women who dress in more masculine clothes aren't. It's not like a boy dressing in wearing a dress. It's less contentious, I suppose. But hey,
it's more practical to wear pants than a dress.
I don't know. Sometimes when the weather's really hot, so it's kind of nice.
You can wear shorts, flowy shorts.
That's true.
And then not have to worry about your skirt lifting up. Ugh. No, I couldn't. I hated dresses when I was a kid. So did my daughter. She said she'd never wear one, and then last year for dance, she finally got in one and felt she looked awesome. Like, she swore in grade 10 she would never wear a dress, and there she was in grade 11 picking out the prettiest dress you could ever see. So you never know from one year to the next.
That's true, yeah. I never had a particular issue with dresses, just like, typically you just wear jeans every day, and then on those occasions you dress up and you wear a dress, and hey, if you look hot, so better, right?
I look at anyone wanting to wear a dress every day as it's a little impractical, but all right, it's up to you.
I don't know. I find, like a skirt in summertime. You can even go like, what do they call it when you wear no underwear?
Commando.
Commando, yeah. As long as it's not windy and, there's no issues there, it's like...
And you're not going to get a ticket for whatever they call it.
No, like think of it like a longer skirt and, on a hot day. That's just like light material and but not see-through and nice and cool. Better than shorts, better than pants.
Yeah, and I don't judge anyone who's, if you're male and want to wear a dress every day nowadays, well, if it's practical for what you do and what you're doing and you're comfortable, hey, I ain't going to say anything.
Well, and I love these parents too that, their child wants to wear a dress to school and they'll, dad will wear a dress with them and they'll do each other's nails and stuff like that. Like, that's fine. It's not pushing the child. It's just like supporting what they want to do and having fun. Yeah.
And hopefully they're not getting picked on at school. So.
Well, I think when dad walks in there, big ass dad.
Yeah. No, it's nice that I would hope that this kind of acceptance would lead to less bullying.
Yeah.
I would really hope.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
I didn't have a choice as a kid. I had to wear my brother's hand-me-downs. I got beat up for it. I mean, it wasn't my fault. Like,
yeah, of course not.
It's not something I even chose to do. It was what I had to do, to wear clothes or be naked. Yeah. Those were my options. Look like a boy or be naked. And my mom cut my frickin' hair, too. So I really was doomed. But if people could have looked at me and said, well, she wants to dress like a boy. No, I didn't want to, but I had to. But they might have frickin' left me alone, at least.
Kids are cruel.
Well, even adults.
Yeah, yeah.
Back then, they judge you, like...
I think back to when I was a kid, and, yeah, I got my little fair share of bullying and, blah, blah, blah kind of thing. But then when I really think about it, how many of those kids were getting the shit beaten out of them every night, How many of those kids were being...
They're the ones that went to university because they could afford it.
But you don't think of these things as a child, right?
Yeah. Well, they didn't care. They still probably don't care that I didn't have anything to eat or anything to wear. They probably don't give a damn. They probably think I did something, sinned, and deserved it. Like, whatever. Growing up in the Bible Belt, you hear about a lot of
I didn't have that experience.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You must have earned it somehow. You must have done something. God's punishing you for a reason.
Anyway.
I don't know. Hopefully.
Moving on.
Grew up in the Bible Belt like I did. You'll hear it.
We're in the Stephan's trial back again.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
What a gong show.
Yeah, they're trying to decide whether Adegabo, the medical examiner, his testimony, if it will be actually introduced into evidence. Yeah, and that's just still going on. It's just been going on for the last 2 weeks, I think.
Well, okay. So here's the weird part. The person that hired Adegabo, is now trying to say the opposite, even though Adegabo did. Yeah, God, these names. I'm so sorry. I'm going to butcher them. Adegabo was hired by us. Who was the other one? I didn't even say that. I've been writing it, but I can't say it. Hired by her.
Did she show? I didn't know that she was the person that hired him.
Yes, she hired him.
I didn't know that.
Hired
he did the autopsy.
Well, the medical examiner. They were both medical examiners.
She hired him to do the autopsy.
Okay.
He does the autopsy, determines that he died of bacterial meningitis, the state of the body, and then she comes in and says, "No, I'm going to look at this situation and say it's viral and that he died of asphyxiation instead." Now, I've looked into her past a little bit, her past cases. Yeah. She has a habit of, what do you call it? Basically saying the opposite of what an autopsy is.
Well, if we feel the study is in particular asphyxiation, then she's probably got a bias toward
she's a pathologist. Just as he was, they're both pathologists.
I thought she had a specialty, though.
It was pathology.
That is a specialty.
From the ones I've looked in the past. Like, she was
asphyxiation would be a subspecialty, right?
Yeah. Well, okay, so in the past, she also testified in a case where somebody was strangled, and she's not, and the person who, not the judge, but one of the other legal experts called into question her testimony because no, she doesn't have a specialty in this. She's a pathologist, so why does she get to speak to this? And Asago said something about, well, there's no defensive wounds, so like she probably self-asphyxiated. Meanwhile, the guy had run off with her stuff after she died. So the guy gets off scot-free. And then in other cases, she said the opposite of what the autopsy determined. So she seems to have this history of coming in, not doing the autopsy, but trying to say there's something wrong with the autopsy.
Yeah, I don't know if she's even
and that's what she's doing in this case.
The specimens that would have been prepared.
Yeah. No, she looks at the autopsies. And I've been digging, and unfortunately I don't have my computer. She doesn't generally look at the body. She looks at the information about the case instead, and then finds so-called issues with the autopsy. And that seems to be what she does. And then she contradicts their testimony from the person who does the autopsy. And she hired this guy to do the autopsy. So meanwhile, the Stephans prefer her opinion over his because
of course.
She's basically exonerating them, which is ridiculous. The guy who did the autopsy saw. So she's kind of despicable in this case because, I'm sorry, the state of the child when he actually died, it really didn't matter because
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
He was basically brain dead. Like, a lot of his brain was dead before the ambulance ever got there. So for her to come and say, no, this is some kind of asphyxiation issue, without actually looking at the state of the brain when the child was picked up, really? This was meningitis. The child had meningitis. And she's trying to say he would still... She actually said in a testimony in the last trial, he would still be alive if they had given him the oxygen. However, she didn't describe what state he would be as an alive vegetable. He would still be in a vegetable before, you know. So it's going around and around in these circles. And she's complicating the issue, basically. And they like what she says. So they prefer him. So now the Stephans are saying, well, we can't really understand Adegabo, the guy who actually did the autopsy. So maybe we shouldn't be allowing his testimony because we can't really, you know, because he speaks a different language and can't really understand it. So how can he be an expert, you know, witness? Like, they're calling him to question not his pathology, not his expertise, but his ability to bring forth the evidence at the trial. It's ridiculous. I wish this would end just so I could see what the judge is going to say about all this. I really, really want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, I know.
No kidding, eh?
He's...
Excuse myself for 2 moments.
The poor guy has... he was supposed to be on vacation.
Yeah, right now.
This is going on
but they've got
and on and on and on. Just dragging it out. He's trying, you know, the defense lawyer for Collet, Jason Demers, he's been trying to have the charges dismissed, but you know, I don't know.
There's still, even with the testimony of this other person that said he would still be alive if he got oxygen, even with that testimony, she still is saying, yes, his brain was destroyed. Like, he would be alive with tubes in him. He would not be a walking, talking, live human being. He'd be a vegetable in a bed.
Then what
you still
they didn't provide the necessaries for life.
Of the life.
So I don't understand
so that he could keep his brain intact.
Yeah, I don't understand how relevant any of this is. They waited until
they had to go round and round in circles,
several episodes of Ezekiel stopping breathing. Like, you think the first
before
one,
they even called.
You know, you think at the first one that's the time.
And now they're trying to be exonerated based on the testimony between these two medical examiners. But if I was a judge, I think I'd go with the guy who actually did the autopsy over anything else.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I'm not speaking for him, but logically, yeah, you know, he did the tests. He did. Yeah. He had the poor child in front of him dissecting him. Come on.
And once you've figured out the cause of death, you don't need to look any farther. That, you know, that's kind of... Yeah.
And whether it was bacterial or viral, the child had meningitis, and yes, it pretty much turned him into a vegetable.
You still should have that child in hospital when you suspect
They wouldn't have been able to take him home. They wouldn't have... Either way, whether it was this person says it's viral, this person says it's bacterial, in the end, this child would not have gone home.
Yep.
Whether he got the oxygen or not. They're trying to say, there's no way that child would have ever gone home, even if he did get the oxygen as they said he needed in the ambulance. Really, it's irrelevant, but they've got to go round and round and round and round for weeks and call into question these expert testimonies that they don't like versus this expert testimony that they do like.
Yeah. So I think Salvago is scheduled quite a ways later this month, the 25th and 26th. She's going to be taking the stand.
Who's that again? Something else. She's filing a wrongful dismissal suit against Justice Solicitor General of Alberta because they didn't renew her contract, so she called it wrongful dismissal. Plus, in the past, she's sued people for stuff.
They don't renew it at will. So
that's not firing.
Exactly.
I don't understand how
you have an end date on your contract. So this person,
that's not wrongful dismissal.
No, but she's
not a renewal of a contract.
She's trying to claim it is.
Yeah.
Good luck.
She's she's had a lot of controversy around her for a while.
Why they didn't renew.
Her credibility, yeah. Well, maybe the new government, I don't know, maybe, cuts, whatever. I mean, when you're on a contract basis, you're not a permanent employee.
Yeah.
However, she's still. So, as I said, her credibility to me is a little questionable. However, I'm not an expert. I'm not
a lawyer.
Her employer. I'm not a doctor. I can't really say, but there's a lot of weird stuff with this person.
What else we got? Here we go. We're gonna go to the Gwyneth Paltrow. Yay.
Oh God.
And vagina steaming.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Do you have the back file?
Yeah, so we covered this a while back. Just don't do this.
Until somebody got we said that, but then somebody got second-degree burns.
Yeah.
Yes. This woman,
second-degree
she had a
burns
diagnosis.
From vaginal steaming. Yeah, she had
a vaginal prolapse diagnosis.
Yeah.
She was scheduled for surgery. She thought this might help.
Wow.
Yeah.
So she's 62 years old. Now, the way Paltrow said to do it was like in a bowl of hot water and put some herbs in it and then squat over top of it or something. I don't know what this poor woman did to get second-degree burns on her cervix and
true.
upper
Probably
vaginal
one of
walls.
those carpet steamers.
Yeah, something that sat over a kettle while it was on the stove. I don't know.
Yeah, really.
Pretty extreme.
Because, sometimes you get a cold or whatever, and you want to...
There's steam.
No. This is just like hot water steam. It's not like boiling water steam. It's like what comes out of your tap, right?
Yeah. What should apparently been in the bowl of herbs that should have been steaming. That's gross.
Yeah, steaming
first of all, don't steam.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't steam in the first place.
If you've got water at 100 degrees Celsius and steam at 100 degrees Celsius, which gives the worst burn?
Well, which has the most pressure behind it? It's going to shove it in your skin harder. I don't know if it matters. I haven't done that experiment.
It matters. It actually matters.
I have to look up the physics on that. Okay, what is that? What's
steam is the worst of the two because it's not gas to liquid. That is a very exothermic phase change, and so it deposits
that would
a lot
affect
more
the skin.
heat. Yeah, so steam burns are usually much worse than water burns.
And ladies, can you imagine?
Oh my God!
How a second-degree burn
Don't
feel?
steam your vagina. Whether it's just like a light steam or like a really I don't know. A super.
Or really anything.
Don't steam. And you take a nice hot shower. It helps with the steam, and then there's steam, right?
And then there's steam, power steam.
Yeah.
This temperature versus a bit of steam coming off a bowl of herbs as dipshit Gualtero. I'm sorry, I really don't like her. Shouldn't call names, I'm sorry, but with the eggs and everything else, I'm sorry, she's a dipshit.
Oh God, yeah.
So squatting over a bowl of herbs with a bit of steam coming off of it is a little different than I think what this lady did.
Yeah, that's not steam.
That's
water vapor. Not water vapor. That's condensed water droplets.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. That's a little different. Yeah.
There is water vapor in the air when you heat water. Some of it, but it's not steam. It's just water vapor.
Yeah. Mind you, they do call it steaming. Very, very not figuratively, but
well, when Kara was little and she had croup, I was advised by the doctor to, take her into the steamy bathroom and then take her outside where it was cooler and to keep doing this, right?
Yeah, and not stick your nose in front of not stick your nose under like a kettle.
No, just, like a hot, turn the hot water on and have her in the bathroom where it does get steamy, so to speak, right?
You're using the word there in a more...
because I think other people are mixing up what the hell it means, right?
Yeah.
Don't leave your vagina alone. Just leave it alone. It's a self-cleaning thing. Well, if you want to play with it or whatever from time to time, or enjoy yourself with another partner, enjoy that stuff. But don't steam your vagina. Leave it alone. Just take a shower, and everything will be fine.
Yes, it'll clean itself out.
Exactly. Yeah.
We have this thing called discharge, just,
Exactly.
Well, moving on. Let's, yeah.
Randy's getting quite
Enough of that.
Okay.
We can swear, but now we're starting to get into very bad territory. I don't have the story up, but Twyla, you sent that one on glyphosate. The EPA is coming down on California for passing that silly and evidenceless claim that glyphosate causes cancer, which
even though they can prove by chemistry how it can't change DNA. I mean, to get cancer, you have to change DNA. This stuff doesn't affect humans that way, or any other animal for that matter.
Yeah, just interferes with a specific biochemical pathway that's only found in plants. Now, I know there's vegetables out there, but it's not the right kind of vegetables. So.
Yeah. So, State of California's much criticized Proposition 65 has led to misleading labeling requirements for products like glyphosate because misinforms the public about the risks they are facing. So it's irresponsible to require labels on products that are inaccurate when EPA knows and can show the product does not pose a cancer risk. We will not allow California's flawed program to dictate federal policy. Well, good on the EPA for doing something. I mean, of course, now big government, blah, 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 and a bunch of conspiracy theorists and other people freak out. So, shame on California for doing this. I thought they were better than that.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, they do some strange things. I mean, their consent law is ridiculous, too.
Oh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty old.
Positive consent all the way through the coital relations.
What relations?
What?
Coital.
Coital? Coital? Is that what you mean, Randy? Coital relations? Coital relations? What?
Coital.
I've only read it mostly myself, but I've heard it said on Big Bang Theory when when a certain person likes to use
technical coitus instead make it sound like a disease.
Coitus.
Yeah. So.
Sheldon.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Awkward silence.
like glyphosate has actually has a higher LD50 than table salt does. You have to consume more to
Glyphosate.
Oh, okay.
kick off.
Because I'm totally like, this is flying totally over my head, And I have to say, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but the EPA, do we totally trust them? I don't know.
Yeah, they're actually science-based. They do testing and everything else. I don't trust the person who's overseeing it right now, but I do trust the people doing the work right now. And in this case, you can use science to show why this does not cause cancer. So I absolutely do trust them on this.
Well,
yeah, and I can see what this would lead to. People thinking, "Oh my goodness, the EPA is defending big pharma, right?"
Yeah.
Or sorry, not big pharma, big agriculture.
Big ag, or
yeah.
Monsanto, which doesn't even exist anymore, by the way. So,
what happened to you? Did you get bought out?
Yeah,
by who?
By Bayer or somebody.
Bayer.
Yeah, somebody.
Bayer Cross is aspirin, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Somebody like that. Bayer's actually into agriculture quite a bit too.
Yeah, I know. I've done there. Never mind. I'm a graphic designer. Some work.
I could be wrong. People can.
No, you're not wrong.
Them out,
no,
so.
Not at all. Yeah.
So.
No, they're totally involved in agriculture. Yeah.
But thank goodness we finally have something overturned that was absolutely ridiculous and fear-mongering.
Yeah. Well, thank goodness, because I have a hell of a lot of goddamn weeds in my yard that could
Moving on.
Yeah. Well, Roundup, it was still available, but they put a frickin' warning label on it that was misleading and misinforming and absolutely incorrect. So.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia has issued new laws that allow women to travel freely without a male guardian's. And I want to know, what about applying for passports?
Yeah, that's the thing. Apparently, they're allowed to without male consent now. Applying for passports, as far as the article was saying. However,
I just don't trust them.
Who's going to?
Me neither. Yeah. Who's why up the dolly too? But come on.
Yeah.
Give us a real.
If you're used to being told by men what to do and you can't drive or anything, and I don't, what kind of education do you have? How well are you gonna?
Oh, some of those women are very highly educated.
Yeah, but for the
general in the sciences and that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, in the general pop, like when you're stuck at home with 10 kids, kind of thing. How much access do all the women there have to computers to get to town, to get to apply to, are they allowed to travel still without their man if they're had to do it with their whole life? Is their man easily going to, or men in the family easily going to give that up so that you can go apply for a passport? I mean,
well, that must be terrifying for women who have been in that situation for a long time. Like, of course, the younger people that want to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah,
this is great.
They're going to figure it out.
But, if you're 65, 70 years old and you've lived your whole life that way, that must be kind of terrifying for you to have that kind of independence. And,
and have they
I hope they own it. And, well, that's just it, too. Yeah. I would say language barriers, but yeah. It's, there's such a thing as gatekeeping the news. And, what's said to the rest of the world versus what's said internally, probably two entirely different things. Like here and everywhere else in the world,
Yeah.
There's still in place rules that require male consent for a woman to leave prison. That's a weird
one.
Prison?
Yeah.
I
get stuck in there for being raped, Well, maybe you're perpetrator.
Or exit a domestic abuse shelter.
Yeah. What kind of bullshit is that? You get out of a domestic abuse situation, but you have to have male consent to leave.
Huh.
It's insane.
And male consent.
Why would anybody have anything to say about somebody who's been imprisoned?
Yeah, I don't know.
Given that that's a state thing and not, like, oh, hey, my wife murdered our 3 children and I'd really like her out of prison. Would you mind? Thank you.
No, but upon release, if your release date came up and some man didn't say, yes, you can go, you can't go.
Well, of course, if I did something horrible, he'd have my ass. He'd have my back or whatever, right? Just because he's family, he can. But, yeah.
So this is for any arranged marriages before 21?
Yeah, unintended consequences. Who knows what those are going to be?
Things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I'm cautiously...
Argument, I'm sorry, but you never know.
Well,
no, I'm not...
So go ahead.
I'm like you said, I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm also a little bit pessimistic too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, there was a thing on, here it is. In Iran, 3 women have received 55-year sentence, total sentence of 55 years for terrible.
Well, and the other thing is the women who were asking for this travel ban lift, like women being able to travel, the ones that were asking for it are still in jail. So they got their
same with the driving thing, right?
Arabia, yeah.
The women's rights activists are in jail. Meanwhile, they're
about women. I just don't understand what is so terrifying.
Oh, well, let me explain. I'm just kidding.
I don't get it.
Bleeding.
I don't
it's
understand.
Gross. I mean, it's gross. You can't even, when you're on your menses, I don't think you're even allowed to go to a mosque or pray or something.
Yeah, that's right
same
too,
with Jewish religion. Yeah, you can't enter.
Yeah.
That gross.
Sleep in a tent.
Dirty.
Yeah, you're not even in. Like the more extreme. I don't even know if you're allowed in the house or the general living space, right?
Yeah. It's just a gross, dirty thing.
Well, that's in a lot of cultures too. If you're a woman menstruating, for example, if here Native North Americans, you can't. What do you call those steam lodges? You're not supposed to go in there when you're menstruating.
Yeah.
So it's not just one, religion.
Culture. Yeah.
Women.
Religions are stupid.
Yeah.
Lincolnshire,
especially when you're
non-Muslim girls asked to wear a hijab for a day. Jeez.
Yeah.
Muslim girls in Lincolnshire are being asked to wear a hijab for a day to raise awareness of discrimination. So put on a hijab to be discriminated. And that's a good selling point.
Yeah, and what?
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I can't find the exact thing. It's in here somewhere. Yeah, they would see it. It's just a piece of cloth covering our heads. So even she admits that it's just a piece of cloth.
No.
Right?
Yeah,
the
so
second last from the bottom sentence.
Why can't you remove
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
Yeah.
If it's a piece of cloth. I hate that argument because it's part and parcel with the whole modesty culture thing. And there's, when somebody like Cockroach, Linda Sarsour, says that the hijab is empowering and shows modesty and self-respect, they necessarily have to believe that women that don't wear it, whether they're part of the Muslim religion or not, are immodest, lacking self-respect, and unempowered. Otherwise, there's no reason for the hijab at all.
So until they tell these girls that they're asking to wear these things, unless they get slut shamed for not wearing them, then really you're not being honest about the whole thing.
The last thing that many Muslims is honest about this. They won't tell you what they think of you because you don't wear a hijab. They'll say it's okay because you're not Muslim, but it's only okay in the sense that you don't adhere to the religion, not the modesty culture part. That part, they think you're...
They're extremely dishonest about that.
Yes.
But I don't know that there's so much dishonest as...
They phrase it in the sense of, you're a beautiful flower. You should be,
indoctrinated. Indoctrinated is the word I'm going to use, right? Of course, you're being honest if you're indoctrinated.
You're telling these girls it's just a piece of cloth. Well, these girls won't get slut shamed unless it's that culture if they take it off.
Yep.
Yeah.
So until you tell them,
piece of cloth, then
take it off.
Why can't you just take it off? What is it about showing your hair that is so horrifying? I mean, if you're Medusa, fine, keep the damn thing on, but it's...
I kind of like a tick when I'm having a bad hair day. Works for me.
I can wear a hat. I don't have to wear a piece of cloth. I can put a freaking hat on.
You don't wear it every day and
I won't get slut shamed by people in my life for not wearing it.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Yeah. If it's just a piece of
cloth. You're such a whore for not wearing your hat.
Well, I mean, trying to take the more generous view kind of thing, like maybe 10 years ago when, after 9/11 or whatever, when Muslims were obviously being discriminated, I might have done that in an act of solidarity, but I've learned and I've grown and I've listened to, ex-Muslim women and how they feel about it. And it's all lovely to support your fellow, whatever, Canadians.
Yeah, the person.
Whatever, but
not
but it's about the religion. Yeah, it's like, we could, I was saying to somebody the other day, because I've got into this Bible study group for some reason or whatever, but I'm like, it's not about, yes, we criticize Muslims, yes, we criticize Islam, but we don't criticize Muslims. Just like we criticize, Christianity, but not Christians. And I brought up the same thing, like, what is it? Just as you can hate the sinner, but hate the sin, but love the sinner, we can hate the belief, but love the believer.
Oh, I criticize people that are religious too.
Well, I mean, I think it's, like, if you're criticizing their belief system, you're pretty much implicitly, but you can take an objective.
Who's selling modesty culture, they're going to get it. I'm not going to hold it
like back. The Mennonites here and the Mormons here, and there's a ton of people here in Alberta that do that.
Yeah.
Not just Islamic.
being in your face isn't going to win an argument, but, presenting a question, like, why do you feel that it's so important to you? What's so wrong with your hair? That might be a better approach than, what the fuck? What the fuck's that thing in your head?
That's fine for individual people, but it's these people.
Yeah.
It's the people that are pushing World Hijab Day. That's the one. Those are the ones that piss me off. They are
absolutely
hoodwinking everybody, and they know it. If it's an individual person, then why do you wear that? Why does it matter? Why does your hair, showing your hair, matter?
But
no one.
But do you think this woman is a bad person? I don't think she's a bad person. I don't think she intends to do anything wrong. She's been indoctrinated to believe that it's just a pice of cloth, but
she's also lying to herself too, though.
Well, of course she is. That's what religion's all about.
She's lying to herself, and she's lying to everybody else.
To malice, what can be attributed to ignorance. So I try to.
Well,
I'm sorry, but
I draw the line at selling
not a defense in the eyes of the law.
Yeah.
When you sell modesty culture, that's a line that is. Yeah, that's anyway.
Well, she's not. Okay, I'll make this point because I'm playing devil's advocate here. Obviously, she's not selling it. She's not making a profit. Whereas groups like Nike and
no, she's selling the idea.
Yeah, I'm not talking about profit.
Bullshit idea.
Yeah. But she's not literally making a profit from. And I find that naive ignorance far less pernicious and offensive than corporations that are going out there and exploiting this whole
wear hijab thing.
Yeah, the modesty culture crap. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nike with their sport hijab. And then there's the burkini. Yeesh.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you'd think that MS would be if vitamin D is associated with MS, as a lot of researchers think.
Well, attention. Maybe it doesn't get diagnosed.
I don't know.
They don't have the data.
Yeah. Excuse me for another moment or two.
Sure. Moving on, more religious bullshit. Vancouver doctor cleared of wrongdoing and probe into assisted death at Orthodox Jewish nursing home. Dr. Ellen Wiebe. Yeah, she assists people exiting this life in a way that's I unironically use the word safe. Of course, we're becoming a vegetable, basically. So anyway, this happened in doesn't say when she did this. Anyway, she went on to the grounds of a Jewish Orthodox care facility, Louis Breyer Home and Hospital, and she helped Barry Hyman, 83, to die. The College of Physicians and Surgeons, British Columbia, dismissed an official complaint against Wiebe, saying that the doctor did not break any of the regulators' rules when she assisted Hyman to die. And good. My problem is, why are care institutions allowed to force their edicts on something which is under Canadian law allowed?
Federal, yeah.
And ignored by governments at all levels. Federal, provincial. I mean, you look at what happened with, people having to be assessed in a bus shelter, for crying out loud.
And this doctor had to sneak into
So what was that?
the home. This doctor who performed this had to sneak into the home.
They don't allow
without the staff's permission.
She has the permission of the patient, which is the only one that matters, right? So basically the College of Physicians and Surgeons is giving a big middle finger to the care facility, as well they should.
Yeah. And who's funding that care facility?
I would think the care facility should be punished for going against the law.
Yeah, violating the rights of individuals. You know, people.
You would think there would be some form of punishment for that.
Even if you go into one of these facilities, as if you have a choice, quite often you do.
Yeah, really. Well,
but even if you went into one of these facilities thinking, I don't want that, but you can change your mind later on, and the care facility should have absolutely no say in that. None.
Well, except you support your decision.
Yeah. And just, you know, like, I know Covenant Health has made some concessions because of the incredibly bad PR that deservedly was off-site to actually have, you know, obtain the actual service of medical assistant dying. So I don't see how that's any better.
Yeah.
And I was very, very disappointed with the NDP government. Should have took the bull by the horns and said, nope, we're not going to allow those kinds of outs for institutions because it's not about them.
Exactly.
Well, the UCP is not going to be any more helpful.
Yeah, I know.
And then there's a freaking Catholic freaking church. Ugh.
So yeah, it's a move to New Jersey. New Jersey bishop, get that off of here. Calls assisted suicide law an utter failure of government to protect the vulnerable.
The church knows all about protecting them.
Yeah, it's
thank you. Well said, Randy. Yeah.
It's not like they've never, you know, had some hilarious gaffes. Hilarious being a
you're such a great moral authority. You fucking assholes.
I always think, what would the Pope do, and then do the opposite, and I know I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah.
So Chechio warned that the new law leaves the elderly particularly vulnerable, as they may feel undue pressure to view this as an option to prevent being a burden to others. Do you think doctors are stupid?
Yeah, really. Yeah.
They know when this is happening, and they will refuse. This is what the assessments are.
And you know what? Frankly, if I were, you know, all of a sudden tomorrow to have like a horrible terminal disease, and I lived in the U.S. and, you know, didn't have proper insurance or whatever, and I was gonna, you know, my family was gonna lose everything, fucking rights I'd want to check out if I'm gonna die anyway.
I don't want to be
the earlier the better.
When I've lost all capacity to, you know, to care for myself.
But here in Canada, you know, I could have another 10 years, but if I lived in the U.S. and you know, there's going to be hundreds of $1,000s, you know, dedicated to my care, I probably would
I read
consider that.
Another...
I wouldn't think it was cruel, you know.
That was talking about, well, you know, 1/3 of people that request assistance in dying are depressed, and I'm like, no kidding. You're at the end of your rope. Of course, it's only 1/3. That's amazing. You know, that has nothing to do with it.
If these people are you're in pain, you're facing death, you're not exactly going to be singing in the rain.
What does that have to do with whether or not you should be able to access it? If you're just suicidal, and you know, you're otherwise healthy and etc., that's one thing, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about...
But that's the argument they're trying to bring in.
Yeah, I know. It's stupid.
Yeah. And then there was... Remember that young man who we were going to actually interview on there? I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. Yeah. And he was like literally in physical pain as well as...
Yes.
Extremely severely depressed.
Do you know how stressful physical pain is on top of facing the fact
I can only imagine.
Die?
Yeah.
And it was constant.
Pain
well, this guy wasn't going to die, but he certainly wasn't going to have any quality of life.
Yeah, exactly. Instead, you're going to be stressed out all the time. That's basically your life. You can't think of anything else except for trying.
Well, nerve pain, too. Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, I love this. Catholics are called to show a different approach to death and the dying. one which accompanies every person as they are dying and just watching them, basically, and allows them to love and be loved to the very end. As if
being
assistance
loved
in dying
being
doesn't allow.
tortured.
I mean,
tortured. He's equating being tortured to love.
And good on.
Well, it's redemptive suffering. Obsession.
Yeah.
What do I want to call it? Fetishization. Fetishization of suffering.
Yeah, it's a death cult. Governor Murphy said allowing residents with terminal illnesses to make end-of-life choices for themselves is the right thing to do. By signing this bill today, we are providing terminally ill patients and their families with the humanity, dignity, and respect that they so richly deserve at the most difficult times any of us will face. Good for you.
Bullshit. Sorry, I was. Okay. I thought we were talking about the Catholic Church.
Did you read this part? This part, Christine. This is what set me off. This is what set me off. What Chichio says here. With this law, there will be a further desensitization of the value of human life.
Video games are to blame.
Further desensitization. Fuck you. I mean, I value quality of life over.
Yeah, that's the thing. They don't
not
care
being
about
able
your
to
quality of life.
Choose
life
how and when I go. That is not devaluing. Giving people the option to die with dignity is valuing human life, not devaluing.
Yeah, and you know what? If you don't want to take that up, don't.
Yeah, you have an option. It's a choice.
Yeah. Nobody's shoving, nobody's forcing anybody to have abortions or to die with the right to dignity or any of these things.
The thing is, he's all about forcing it on people that he purports to care for. He says, our hospital will not be cooperating with this moral evil.
Well, then your hospital's not a hospital.
I'm sorry, but I call forcing people to suffer immoral.
Me too. Yeah. Who doesn't, Well, unless you're... yeah, sorry.
Oh, here we go. More on abortion here. Red Deer PPC candidates propose bill to end late-term abortion.
Red Deer.
So this is...
Red Deer.
So stupid, because it's already the case. There's no need to propose a bill.
No, they want to punish people for it, though. You don't get punished if you help someone not die by letting them have an abortion if their baby's already dead.
How many abortions are done after 24 weeks of pregnancy in Canada?
None, unless they're, has no brain or something.
And they're going to criminalize.
These things happen. Yeah, they want to criminalize it. They want to punish you for not wanting to die with your dead baby or something.
Proposes 5 years in prison for those caught trying to end their pregnancy after 24 weeks. And one of our Facebook page readers was astute and noticed that, in fact, Maxime Bernier, who is the founder of this neocon spin-off
party,
People's Party of Canada.
He won't touch this issue, but his people will.
Issues. But they can. He said that their members could express opinion, but this isn't just expressing opinion.
He's a liar. These people are lying in this bill, and I hope that is what kills it, because they are blatantly lying, and they blatantly lie in the article about why they are done and when are they done and how often they are done. They just lie.
There it is. Maxime Bernier says his People's Party of...
but you want to hear what Bernier...
Well, like you said, Randy, it's a wedge strategy kind of thing, because this is already the case, and you're trying to,
That's what I think.
And Twyla, I remember I posted something on your page. It was a PDF file that did outline those statistics by province, and it's very, very rare that over 24 weeks, and it is because of threat to the mother's health or the
Well, these guys don't care about facts and statistics. They don't. They want to scare their little followers into thinking all the rest of us are these evil baby killers, and then start there, and then make the rest of it illegal as well, even at 2 weeks. So
babies are really quite delicious, though. We should
damn atheists.
Let them come to terms.
Those damn atheists eating babies. But I want to say something else about Bernier when I went through this. Bernier was telling this story about Canadians, basically. So Bernier was whatever rally, went on to tell an anecdote about his time running for the Conservative Party leadership in 2017 as an example of how he doesn't pander to special interest groups and how his new platform is just the same as it was then. He described that during the Conservative Party debates, he received a call from a Muslim organization in Toronto, which he said was calling all the candidates, including him. He said he eventually sat down with the Muslim organization in front of a number of Muslims who support conservatives, and at the end, a woman from the group asked him, "What would you do for the Muslim community?" "Well, I looked at her," he said. "Nothing. I'll do nothing for the Muslim community." The crowd burst into cheers. He then added he would also do nothing for the Jewish community. "I'll do everything for you as a Canadian."
Yeah, he kind of omitted a big religion in there, didn't he?
Yeah, I have no problem with that statement if you're going to, like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to, privilege you on the basis of your religion, but, you're a Canadian, I'm going to represent you. There's nothing wrong with that statement, but, it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, when you first read this, you're going, well, is he calling Muslim community has maybe... It's basically he's, all these issues with poverty and not having clean water, and he'll be like, "Nothing, I'll do for you as a Canadian." Well, are you going to ignore the fact that there's some special considerations that are needed here?
I don't think that that's necessarily contrary to sticking up for the rights of... Like, I'm playing devil's advocate here, but just because you want to help a group, because they're Canadians, you want to, provide the same social, I guess, safety nets. And
they burst into cheers when he said, "I looked at her and said, nothing, I'll do nothing for the Muslim community." The crowd burst into cheers before he then
clarifies.
That's shitty.
Mm-hmm.
Was quite key right there, too.
But I do understand, hey, I'm not going to do anything on the basis of your religion, because screw that.
Yeah,
but
that's a shitty question.
As Canadians in a secular society, yes, of course I'm going to defend you, because we all have basic human rights.
He breaks out Muslims and Jews in particular.
Yeah, that's the problem I have. Is that he should have said, "It matters not."
You're asking
your religion
for. He's basically saying. He's basically, "Oh, you're asking for special stuff." No, there's actual issues within this and this and this. So, no, I will not do that, he says. I don't. Okay, again, I'm playing devil's advocate because I think he is a fucking dickwad, blah, blah, blah kind of thing, but of your Canadian identity, because our Canadian identity is multicultural. So
exactly.
that means when I say the issue with racism,
that's the progressive.
This is exactly the same thing.
Kind of, but this is more to do with religion, right? No. I'm not going to defend Muslims on the basis of you being Muslim. I'm not going to defend you on the basis.
He didn't say defend.
A person
defend isn't a word that was used here. There was nothing to do with defend. It says, "What will you do for?" So you're coming as a politician. We get ignored.
I'm going to uphold the UN Constitution of Human Rights and the values that we hold as Canadians here. And yes, I have your back, but I'm not going to do that in the name of your religion.
I think he's just going to ignore the issues of racism based on these.
Probably. Like I said, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but I'll
take issue for him. Actually, why did he go from Muslim to Jew?
Well, he could have gone for gender identity or all kinds of things too. So, hey, I'm not going to defend you on the basis of whether you're gay or not, because by definition, we live in a society that supports gay rights. I'm going to defend you as a Canadian that lives in that society.
No,
right?
we should have said.
Again,
who his supporters hate? His supporters hate these groups in particular.
Yeah, but if he's a leader, he can tell those people that support him to go fuck off, and if you're going to be a racist and not uphold. Of course he is.
He's completely pandering. The fact that they burst into cheers when he said, "I'll do nothing for the Muslim community," period. I'm pretty sure they're too busy cheering to hear the part of "as a Canadian."
Probably.
Yeah. So he's pandering. So these groups, and again, taking this Red Deer group, let's go back to these Red Deer people. So proud to be a Red Deerian here. I had these people come to my door and I almost vomited. Actually, I almost laughed in their face and then vomited. But that aside, what else are we doing with the People's Party of Canada on top of this?
No, they're not. It was okay,
it's so they're going to criminalize abortion. What else are they doing here?
Did he actually say we want bipartisan success?
What's that?
He said that one of these Red Deer conservative members of parliament said, we want success and we want bipartisan success. We're not.
Well, that's ridiculous.
We're not a two-party system, first of all.
Yeah. And second of all, I forget what article. I'm sorry, I can't find it right now, but it's probably where a scholar was saying basically, even though they've always kind of been in the, underground kind of thing, and we all think they're fucking batshit, but now we should take them seriously.
Who?
The religious right. The religious right.
Yeah.
Well, you have to in Alberta.
Well, you kind of do, but mostly we just laugh at them and move on, and they can just...
Yeah, well,
we generally find it...
warning sign right here.
Yeah, because in my entire lifetime, I've never felt that any Canadian respects anybody. Well, that's true. That's what I'm saying. It scares the shit out of me.
And now this People's Party of Canada with Bernier at the lead are rising in Alberta. They are proposing a ban on late-term abortions and throwing people into jail. What else is happening here? Well, the next article is about LGBTQ people and gender identity.
Right? It serves two purposes.
Yeah. Well,
it panders
just proposing it will get them votes.
Yeah, next thing we're going to have, our roofs are going to have to be, our ceilings are going to have to be this high and blah, blah, blah.
But don't forget, Bernier said no, he's not going to do this while they're doing it.
Well, he's not going to talk about it, but everybody else in his party can. Okay, so this gets them vote just talking about it. Whether it gets passed or not, they get votes just for bringing it to the forefront and talking about it. Thank you, Red Deer. So, also from Red Deer in this next article, how a proposed conversion therapy ban and LGBTQ issues are mobilizing Canada's Christian right. Again, Red Deer. This Red Deerian says this. We believe this to be a historic moment both here in BC and the nation of Canada, says Kevin Kavanagh, lead pastor of the Cedar Grove Church in Surrey. In a video of the event, supporters in attendance included Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson, current People's Party of Canada candidate for Red Deer, Alberta, who has been outspoken against sexual orientation and gender identity education in schools. Red Deer, again, woo!
Well, a lot of it seems to me that rather than putting it in the hands of the federal government and saying, hey, deconversion therapy is fucked up and we just make it illegal all across the board, municipalities are actually taking this into their hand and making it illegal in... Yeah, that's sad, but, but I'm just saying that some municipalities that are taking this up, they're setting the example.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah,
but you're not going to see that here in Alberta, unfortunately.
No, we're seeing in certain, well, not maybe in Red Deer, but there are a few, smaller regions that have said, no, fuck this. We need to.
Like what? Where?
God, I'm trying to think of where now because I just saw this today.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
tired.
Actually, good news after reading this. I was like, Red Deer again at the forefront. People's Party of Canada candidate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, I love this. Last September, a group of evangelical leaders from across British Columbia gathered to unveil a statement. On sexuality and gender identity after 21 days of fasting and prayer. If that was all they did was fasting and prayer, they're trying to, turn back the clock on things like same-sex marriage. I mean, that is not... Nobody's forced same-sex marriage on anyone, okay?
Yeah.
Get that through your thick skulls. If you don't want to marry somebody of the same sex, don't marry someone of the same sex.
Child could, therefore, in their mind, kid gets taught about gay people in school because of course they'll never talk about it at home. Oh my God, they're going to need to fix the kid with conversion therapy now. So you cannot criminalize it. So yay, Red Deer's getting to the forefront in making sure that, they have access to their conversion therapy and they get to throw people in jail for having late-term abortions.
What was that guy in the States that television? No.
No. Well, Sheldon speaks out against it, right?
No. I'm talking about somebody who was a big one of those monster.
Yeah. Who rescinded?
Haggard. There we go.
There was one in Canada too.
Who? Haggard?
There was. Huh?
Ted Haggard?
No. I'm talking about people who have gone through gay conversion therapy and said, no, this is fucking wrong.
I'm not talking
who
about
are Christians.
I'm talking about Ted Haggard, who was caught with in a relationship, extramarital, and it took a whole weekend for him to get cured.
A whole weekend! Oh my God, such a long time to get cured.
He tried to make a comeback.
In quote marks.
Well, it didn't he? Because people were pretty quick to forgive him.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, the things that people will let slide. It's amazing. Yeah.
Wow. What was that?
Yeah.
That was the guy that was it Earl Roberts that said, "Give me X amount of dollars, or God will call me home," and I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Well, you guys, you got to take this a bit seriously. In the past, it was more quiet. The Christian right was working more behind the scenes underground, but now they are very outward and open about what they do. They are influenced by what's happening in the U.S., Gagne told Global News after reviewing the group's website and videos. This is very much the trend that we're seeing now amongst Christian right groups. We've seen it in Brazil with the election of Bolsonaro. We've seen networks of churches to get their messages across. They can instruct and make sure that congregants are aware of the candidates that represent their values. The Christian right is really a political coalition of individuals that share common concerns. Amongst those concerns are, of course, their problems with LGBTQ rights. These people are mobilizing. These are people showing up at my door wanting to tell me about this as well. Like, they showed up at my door.
So should not their charity statuses be taken away if they're advocating for particular political candidates?
Oh, no, but this People's Party of Canada isn't a church, but they can go into churches and...
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, so they make that differentiation, but of course, yeah, you're right. They're politicizing church.
This is really rich. Friends, our religious rights and freedoms here in Canada are inching dangerously closer to extinction. I mean, I think he means the right that he thinks he has to impose his
to take away
everybody else.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I forget where I read it, what article kind of thing, but it's like, okay, so most of our religious people here in Canada are fine with, LGBTQ community and blah blah blah, and it's a call to stand for those moderate religious people that disagree with these assholes. Stand up and take a stand.
But they don't
let them
churches.
Win.
This is like
it doesn't matter, Twilight. It's, like whose voice is going to be more powerful, and let's hope the moderates shut this shit down because only they can.
It's not just the religious; it's the right-wing nuts that don't even go to church that are spewing this crap too. I mean,
I don't know.
You don't even have to go to church.
I don't know. I find like right-wing people, sometimes they're just fiscal conservatives and not social conservatives. They blah, blah, blah. They'll vote for, I don't know, somebody like Kenny, on the basis of their financial platforms and ignore the social.
The bullshit,
Yeah.
But, this is a conversation I had. This is what somebody was telling me today. It started out about being about, how we're having those rainbow crosswalks?
Yeah.
Well, we have them in Red Deer. They're getting destroyed constantly by people burning on them. Absolutely. So this person wrote on there, burn them down, and people were denouncing his call to violent action or whatever. This guy's telling me, for some reason, I had just, like on his page, he was talking about how it was the Clintons that killed up Simon.
Well, that's an interesting. No, we haven't even talked about that, but
yeah. So this guy's telling me this is the kind of world that liberals, socialists, and wackos that are running things want. I hate it, but no stopping it. I want their crosswalk out there next. What is he even talking about? And then he goes on. The heads of the political parties are involved in it. So you think they tried stopping it? And immigrants coming to Canada see nothing wrong with sexually abusing kids. It's becoming like old Rome.
Now that's just a fucking crazy batshit person.
But these are the people that vote the same way these. Actually, that was no. I won't.
People think that their rights are being taken away.
These bullshit. People might not even go to church, but they're still destroying Pride and attributed it to immigrants and everything else. And this whole oh god.
I do know lots of conservatives that are atheist, and they're not socially conservative; they're just financially conservative. And like for me, when Kenny said, "Hey, no more GSAs," when he was challenging GSAs, that was an immediate deal breaker for me. Like, just no, sorry, bud, no. But they're willing to compromise the social issues, I guess, in favor of their financial interests, I guess.
That's the thing is, it's not fiscally responsible. They're not helping anyone financially by giving people less money for, paying kids less than everybody else. I mean, then they have less money to spend. That's not economically feasible, but it plays to the minds of those who own businesses. Like, I'm going to save money.
Exactly. Hey, I'm a small business owner and I'm going to pay.
So now these kids will have less money to spend at your business because you want to discriminate against them for their age. It's ageism. And it went through. Now these kids... This is not economically responsible. And look at Calgary now. They gave businesses a tax break, and then they had to cut millions of dollars in services.
Yeah.
Just to make the business owners happy. Well, now we're gonna
downtown is pretty much all for rent.
People are losing their jobs over this. They're going to have less money to spend. How is this going to help business owners when people don't have money to spend? It's so illogical, uneven. But no, that's what gets them their votes.
This is something that's they said.
I'll be back.
These religious right wingers said. Who is it? It says this. It's some statement anyway. We affirm that those born with disorders of sex development,
oh God,
are created in the image of God and have dignity and worth. Oh wait a minute, what am I doing? We affirm that those born with disorders of sex development are created in the image of God and have dignity and worth equal to all. Is it coming through as a different voice?
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
you sound like Darth Vader.
And worth equal to all other image bearers. What the hell is that? Image bearer?
I don't know. We're going to talk about their rights, but there's...
whatever. Yeah. They are acknowledged by our Lord Jesus Christ in his words about eunuchs who were born that way from their mother's womb.
What?
So apparently gay people are eunuchs now? Anyway.
Well, yeah, because they don't have children first, they're saying, so they're eunuchs. No.
That's not what a eunuch is.
They can still have kids. They still do have kids, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Eunuchs. Calling them eunuchs, oh my god.
They should embrace their biological sex insofar as it may be known. What?
Biological sex?
Insofar as it may be known. What? It's really not that hard. Anyway, this is just like they're basically you were born in the image of God, but only kind of.
But you're a eunuch.
You're a eunuch, yeah. Just kind of. Like, it's just, oh, we love you, just be more straight. We'd love you.
Yeah, be straight. And let us do our conversion therapy. Don't criminalize it.
Yeah, you can keep your Jesus. You can keep your Christ. He's a douche. I don't think Jesus ever said anything about this anyway. Like a lot of other things. You
can interpret the Bible how you like.
That's dumb.
Twist these words to mean this.
Yeah, the Bible is the ultimate Rorschach test.
Ignore the part about eating shellfish is,
or wearing mixed fiber clothing, which pretty much everybody does today.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible is the ultimate Rorschach test. You bring your morals to the Bible and you see what you want to see, not the other way around. Because otherwise, why would there be so many interpretations?
Yeah.
It says what it says, right? So.
Well, I'm just so proud of Red Deer for being the People's Party of Canada. That's nest of
I'm kind of
wonderful
hoping that
ideas.
they'll split a conservative vote again. And
yeah, they might here in Red Deer, but I don't know if it will.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Bernier, where is he at?
You never hear about him, so really this is kind of like he's kind of
This is what else for him.
Yeah, they're uprising because they're getting media attention, but really I think they're probably going to just be marginalized, just like we do to every other wingnut that's religious at spewing shit.
I miss the Natural Law
Kenny
Party.
Got elected.
What's that? Yeah, that's
the Natural Law
That's
Party.
true.
That was an awesome party. I could vote for them.
Huh. When was that? And when?
This was in the late 80s. And it was Doug Henning's foray into politics. Doug Henning, the magician.
Right, okay, yeah.
And they were going to use...
They did a pirate party here for a while, too, hey?
Pirate party has been around. Yeah.
Yeah. And they were powerful in Iceland. They're the ones that got blasphemy laws off their books in Iceland.
I could...
That's pretty
and here in Canada, we have Jason Kenney and Stephen Harper and the People's Party of Canada all plowing out of Alberta. Yeah.
I know, it's so embarrassing. Oh my god.
Well, I live in in the riding that Stephen Harper used to hold, and that's just one. It's only a few blocks basically to Jason Kenney's. I don't know where his provincial riding is, but it was his federal riding was just south of me.
Well.
I'm sorry, Canada, Alberta hasn't changed much.
Yeah, there's a shift to the right. I think there's a big shift to the right. And thanks, Justin.
Do you think
it's
so?
Your fault.
I'm sorry. I think we've always been to right in this province, and we moved slightly left.
I think it's a national thing. I think that people have. Well, Justin broke a few promises that were key to getting him elected. For instance, first past the
but he legalized cannabis. Isn't that something? Come on.
Well, it's not, we make light of it, but it is. It's sending out a message to the international. I used to think, hey, legalize marijuana because I like marijuana, but I could always get my own. It was never a problem. But the world, the message we're sending out to the rest of the world, like the Philippines, Duterte, who just says, hey, if you think somebody's, dealing drugs or doing drugs, you can just kill them, right? Yeah. And that doesn't mean you're actually doing drugs. It just means your neighbor can fucking say whatever the bloody hell they want, and you're going to get it. That neighbor's going to get a free pass for offing you.
And he's wildly popular in Philippines.
Yeah. So that's why I think that issue actually was important.
Yeah, but I can think of some more pressing issues than that.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, it's something, but first past the post was way more important. And they reneged on it.
Well, the Conservatives aren't going to do it either.
No, I know they won't, but I mean, that's
it's
true, but it doesn't change
but
that Justin Trudeau reneged. So, whether the Conservatives would do it or not is irrelevant. It's the same.
Yeah, because apparently they're the good guys now, just because...
And one of
the thing is, you suggest to someone in Ontario or New Brunswick or something that the Conservatives that Scheer's the next leader, and they get their backs up. How are you popular here? So I guess it's still something to see yet.
Well, that's more of a Toronto thing. So people in Toronto will don't think that that's going to happen, but they think they're candidates.
They still got Ford.
we get all of our stupid, idiotic news stories, national stories from, it's all out of Toronto, and so often the stories are just Toronto, no one outside of Toronto will care. And it drives me crazy sometimes. It's, the rest of Canada is kind of invisible.
Irrelevant.
Yeah, it's not, and I think that feeds into an alienation that Westerners feel. But I don't think it's just Westerners. I'm sure the Maritimes don't feel any better about it.
Oh my goodness, no.
And the territories, what are those?
Yeah.
Doug and man, I just couldn't care less. It's like, doesn't affect me out here. So, and now it does because Rob Ford. No, Doug Ford. I get those two. They're the same.
Well, Rob's dead.
They're the same anyway. But yeah. Now he's affecting the national economy. So the guy
with Kenny at his.
Well, Kenny's buddy. I don't know why. I understand they're politically aligned, but Ford is a bit of a
yeah, and Kenny's not exactly, he's not. Kenny didn't even get an doesn't even have a high school education. So, like, they're both uneducated twerps with a lot of money behind them that, they're all for the white people. So,
I was going to say one was probably a coke fiend, but
coke. Well, yeah.
There's no
I don't know if I did any coke or because I was so drunk. I don't know. I forget what the exact quote was, but it was something like that, right? Like, I remember I did coke because I was drunk. What the fuck?
Torontonians. How did the Fords just flourish?
Probably because half of them have done cocaine. They don't remember because they were drunk. No.
Amazing. And some of the stuff that he Rob said. I remember one time do you remember when Rob Ford said it was about I think it was about
his wife?
Marital affair. Yeah, that one where he says, "Why would I go elsewhere when I can have steak at home?" The hamburger.
Yeah.
Why would I have hamburger when I have steak at home? And the look on
the reference to oral sex.
Face was just priceless. He was like. Just stunned.
That's fucking funny.
That was just like wow. And poor reporter.
In absence of all the other badass shit that he's done, I might just vote on him.
It just got
just for that comment alone.
It just spiraled. It was incredible to watch the self-destruction, but I don't know.
Yeah, well. They had all the right talking points, so.
Yeah, I don't know.
And there was a lot of money behind their campaign, just like there's a lot of money behind Kenny's campaign. They knew who to reach, they knew what to say, and they got elected.
A spectacle draws an audience.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when Kenny was in town here, when Kenny came to town, misled the museum about what he was actually going to do there, and he also timed it for right when the Yellow Vester rally downtown ended, so that they could just walk over to the museum, which was downtown, and come listen to Kenny speak. And yes, he pandered to their points. Absolutely.
Okay, I've only just kind of learned of this Yellow Vest thing recently. Can you explain exactly what it is?
Well, they go downtown and they hold up their signs lying about the UN and Trudeau and how evil they all are and how they're going to take away, the sovereignty of Canada.
Okay, sovereign
how
citizens.
The immigrants are taking over. The illegal immigrants are running rampant, and there's all this crime everywhere and all these rapists. Stuff that Trump says. They put this on their signs. They yell it out of their loud horns.
Okay, because I actually thought that they were protesting the carbon tax.
Yeah, that too.
That was their primary.
About how it was just a money grab.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. Alberta actually won an award for stuff they funded with the carbon attack. But all these people, we did, and but these guys are saying it was just a money grab and was stuck into just whatever. So no, these people mislead. They're racist. They warn about globalists. They're the most. These people bring Confederate flags.
Wow.
Yeah, no, and they shouted in my face. I was down there, putting the facts about how 163 countries signed on to this accord to use it as a blueprint. It wasn't a law, and everybody who signed on didn't have to do exact same thing as everybody else. They just had a blueprint on how they were going to handle immigrants because of all the stuff happening with Syria and all these other world issues, because immigration is increasing because of all the horrible things that are going on in the world. So they came a, humane blueprint, which these guys said was, oh no, they're telling us what to do. We're losing our sovereignty. Blah, blah, blah. Well, they got in my face. This one guy, actually, I was actually down there with an immigrant, very nice, educated man. This yellow vester gets in our face. Would you have him in your house? And I was like, well, I'd rather have him in my house than you.
Awesome.
Like, come on.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I stuck my arms around the guy. Like, fuck you, buddy. You're an asshole. This guy has a brain.
Yeah.
So, they're absolutely... If you go on any of their posts on Facebook, if you go into their groups, they're completely racist. They're awful. They spread misinformation about, global affairs. They're afraid of the globalists. They're quite honestly some of the worst examples of Alberta population that I'm always at war with lately. The higher
and the fact that it's been like I kind of heard a yellow vest, but it kind of flew over my head. But now I being confronted with what they're actually doing.
Spouting this nonsense. This poor Asian lady, she's probably born in Canada with her kid. They're trying to walk to the library past all these. Oh my god. So no, it's horrible. And then of course people are that we have CARE here, which is the Central Alberta Refugee Effort, which helps educate people, learn English, etc. They're starting to get Nazi flag stickers stuck on their doors and everything else.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So
an hour and a half away from Calgary.
Yeah.
That's so unbelievable.
Calgary had their yellow vesters that one day.
Well, yeah, I suppose we have, but like I said, I really didn't pay any attention to them because who the fuck are they, right?
Yeah, whereas these guys take down 2-3 blocks.
Yeah.
Like
you guys have got to see this. I was just on Twitter. Here you go. This is Jessica Yaniv. Remember?
Yeah.
She said, okay, she's
my
got
period
the male parts
started.
still, and she says my period started, so couldn't go into the pool. What?
Someone, is this a tweet?
Uterus.
This is a tweet.
Like from you? Like inviting you to join us?
No, this is her.
Jessica.
No, okay. Well, I know that, but I thought you'd maybe
forgot my
said
tampons
something.
in my other bag. Fuck my leg. This person doesn't have a uterus.
Oh.
What the hell is wrong with
This person
individual?
has some serious issues, mental issues.
Yeah.
What?
Like, is this a joke?
What? This is so much non sequitur that I don't know where to start.
There's no uterus
Where do you
here.
put your tampons, by the way?
Yeah. Up your
First of all, if you're on your period, you don't forget your tampons if you're going to go swimming. Yeah. Second of all, you don't forget your tampons because you always have a little area in your purse that you have one or two stashed, right?
Always stashed.
But,
always.
Yeah.
But this person doesn't have female parts.
This person doesn't have a uterus.
Assuming that they did, typically you can throw a quarter in a machine in the, change room and you get a tampon out of it.
Or ask somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh my god.
I'm just. Oh, this person's be right at home with the Democratic Socialists of America.
You know what? As a woman, I find it offensive that
you should.
This is what passes off as gender, right? I am not about my fucking periods.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, really.
I'm just floored by
and
this.
I was thinking of this earlier too. How there's everybody gets period shamed, blah blah blah. No, we don't. I've never been period shamed in my entire fucking life.
Period.
This is not an shamed. Period shamed, right?
No.
No, you have your period, and that's the end of that, and nobody gives a rat's ass, and you move on, right? Like these protests where women are painting with their period blood because apparently it's so
just...
blah 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 kind of thing, right? No, it's not. No, it's not. If you have a decent, I don't know, partner, They don't give a rat's ass if you got your period. It's fine. They know you're a biological
human.
Well, yeah. So this, so-called perception that women get period shamed. It's just not true.
Nobody can tell.
I don't
think so. Talk about it. I don't I don't post stuff like that on Twitter.
Well, absolutely not. But you have intimate partners and blah 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 kind of thing, and
they don't care.
No intimate partners giving a rat's ass about when I have my period, or you'd shamed me for sure. That's absolutely ridiculous. And if they did, that's on them. They can go fuck off. Anyway,
it's an immutable thing. It's something you can't really do much about.
Yeah.
Can, but not. Yeah.
But anyway, it's getting off to 11:30
here. Yeah, it is. I think it's time to go to bed.
That's true.
I want to go to bed.
It's fun and all, but
I want to watch some Battlestar Galactica.
I'm not finished ranting.
But this should be an insult to every woman.
Well, it is. It's a caricature of what a woman is, right?
A bad one.
Yeah. This is not what it means to be a woman.
Arranged individual.
We don't blather on about our period. We just move on with our lives and have our fucking tampons in our bags and,
our supply.
This is just
I have some in my car even. I have a box in my car just in case.
Good idea. Yeah. I have black pepper in my purse.
See, you always carry that. Anything. Yeah, percent.
You carry that stuff around with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got creamer. The fake creamer because I'm lactose intolerant in my purse.
Good. Oh my goodness.
Thanks, Randy. Thanks so much.
Yes.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, yeah.
Thank blows my.
The predatory nature on young girls is just fucked up.
Yeah.
You get her periods.
Well, there'll be an investigation.
Even if she does get periods, that is not how people that get periods normally act.
Just reminds me of that episode of South Park where all the boys thought they were getting their periods because there was some. It was a good episode. Anyway, okay, guys, let's say our good nights and moving on.
Good night, everybody. Hanging in there, anyone?
Good night, John Boy.
They did. Nightmare.